Welcome back. We're still talking sports right here, Channels TV Sports Center in Lagos, Nigeria. It's sports this morning. Time to take a look at the National Sports Federation elections. Remember, June the 13th, we had elections into the different boards. Presidents emerged. Some of those elections brought controversies. The appeals committee had sat down after petitions started flooding in. And last week, Friday, they made a verdict. They said, look, a lot of irregularities in athletics, in taekwondo. They mentioned gymnastics, and also rugby to have another election. Weightlifting was also part of it. So 5 of them, but gymnastics says, no, we don't like what's going on. We don't have any problem with the election, so we shouldn't be part of this. So they had a protest. Taekwondo, there were no protests. We're going to have fresh elections into the board for taekwondo. So what really happened? Why didn't we have elections for taekwondo on June the 13th? Former president of the Nigeria Taekwondo Federation, George Ashiru, is with us in the studio. We'll be breaking down these issues. Let's understand what really went wrong on June the 13th. Good to have you on Sports this morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm super. I was close to saying Grandmaster. It's okay.
And you would be right.
And I will be right. Grandmaster George Ashiru. And Yemi, I'm so proud. I'm far away from you, just in case. Okay. Good to have you on June the 13th. I was in Abuja, and the more you look, the less you see. But you start hearing he's been disqualified. This one is not allowed to vote. This one is not allowed to contest. What happened in your situation?
You mean in presidential election?
Yeah.
Well, what I know is that I came in there with expectations that I would be given the opportunity again to represent Nigerian Taekwondo as a president. And I was nominated, and then the electoral committee chairman simply said, I can't find your name on the list of those who are qualified to run. I said, what list are you speaking about? There's a list of board members. I said, I know that I am ex officio. On the 12th of May, there was an election done in Abuja. I was physically there. And the federation said I am the only candidate that submitted the form, so I am unopposed. So what happened between when there was an election in Abuja and 35 delegates were there as witnesses today, this day? And on the 31st of May, the secretary sent a mail to me that confirmed your name is ex-officio, it's been sent to ministry. So I told him, I said, no, you can't conduct this election until you are sure of what you are talking about. Go and do your investigation. As a president and as someone who's been in 6 elections, I will know if something is wrong. Confirm. There's nothing wrong in a bit of patience. And then they went back forth, then he came up with another long story. I said, all of this you're saying, I know the guidelines more than you. I'm sorry, electoral committee chairman, but I have a lot of experience in this. Go and confirm, so that these delegates will not feel disenfranchised. And because you can already see there was tension in the place because of the previous disqualifications. And this is the presidential. So we spoke like gentlemen. And then after a while he said, I can't wait any longer. I'm declaring the other party unopposed. And 5 minutes after that, the ministry comes with the master list and said, but George Ashiru's name is on the master list, so where did you get your list? They told him to come back and conduct the election. He said, no, I made up my mind, let them go and petition. And there we are.
So, I know, Yemi.
No, but thankfully, you were there. You recorded most of what happened subsequently.
But while the drama was going on, in your mind, you knew you had good grounds for appeal.
Yes, I knew. I am a Democrat in all ways, and I follow due process. If I didn't follow due process, I wouldn't go to Abuja for the election. The minister said there's no ground for nomination, that everybody must be elected. I didn't even wait to be nominated. I went for the election. I went and said, I'm here for election. If anybody else says they are sponsor, let them come and tell me what they are sponsored in the past 4 years. The major tournaments have my imprint on them. Korean Ambassador Cup, LG, Samsung, Kepco, I'm the one who ran around to make it happen. The tournaments that I sponsored myself, the courses all over the country. So let anybody come up and say they are sponsors or they are philanthropists or they are ex-officio, which I'm also qualified for. Nobody showed up. And it was appropriately announced. So on that basis and the witnesses available, it's enough for me to say, I know that I'm ex-officio. So if the name was not there, maybe there was an error. That was my point. But the gentleman did not even wait for clarification.
So at what point did the electoral officer now concluded that your name is not on this list, we're going on with elections?
Well, like I said, after I believe that some election monitors came and told him that, why don't you, if he insists that his name is there, why don't you do a call for the ministry to send the master list?
Okay.
You know, and then they made some calls. And it was when the list was being brought that he said he can't wait. That he can't wait forever. Those were his exact words. Everybody heard it.
So who were the delegates from Taekwondo that voted?
Who are the delegates?
That voted for the president?
Well, there was no vote because there was no election. The point was that 2 candidates were nominated, and 1 candidate was not allowed to stand. So there was, technically speaking, no election. And from what the appeals committee has broadcast to us, and they agreed with the fact that there was no election because one party was disenfranchised, and there was evidence subsequently that on the list that is at the minister's desk, my name was there. So the question now is this: who removed the names? And that's illegal, that's fraud. Because if you will listen, the spokesperson for the appeals committee on television, on your channel, said fraudulently removed the name of George Ashiro. That word fraud means fraud was committed. The minister in his own statement said these names were maliciously removed, which means fraud. So whoever sat down, whoever the people that gathered together to remove names, they are afraid of democracy, they're afraid of the will of people to stand, and these are the things that cause the problem in our sports, when people don't want to follow due process. Now, if the elections are held, and anybody then has any issue, the appeals committee was there to deal with that issue, but to prevent people from contesting. And by the way, they prevented people that were extremely experienced in sports administration, people who know the rules, you know, and this is why they were all overturned.
What was the case with Southwest and some of the popular delegates who know for like Emmanuel Peters was also gutted about the whole process?
Emmanuel Peters is the chairman of Delta State Taekwondo, so he's a delegate. And he's Nigeria's first Olympian to win a silver at the Barcelona Olympics. And he's probably the most decorated fighter we've ever had. He's the only person who's ever won a world championship medal, ever. And he felt this is time to speak up, that when things are not going right, we as practitioners should not wait and let administrators or whoever, you know, to mess up our sports. We have done a lot of work in the past 4 years to bring unity, to get everybody together, to work together. And during the Korean Ambassador Championships of 2016, the minister said, Taekwondo can do great things if you people can unify and move together. That was why we were hoping that at least now we have 50 delegates. It's not a political situation where you just get 12 people to decide. Now let the mandate come directly from the people. Perfect. And we were all there for that purpose. That's why the delegates were disenfranchised. How can you prevent us from deciding